In this chapter, we will discuss adding new events and their associated fees. When adding a new event, during the initial setup wizard, a number of events are automatically set up. If your organization requires additional events, the steps to create a new event include both setting up an event and creating an associated event fee for that event. We will set up a tie-down roping event in this example. While in the administration mode for your organization, tap the Setup icon, then tap the Events button. Tap the plus button to begin creating a new event configuration. We will name this tie-down roping, then choose the matching event type. If you do not see the same event type as your event, then you would choose Other. In this case, we will choose one of the pre-configurations, and that sets some of the default event settings to those typically used. There are two categories of settings: base and scoring. We will begin with the base screen. The abbreviation will automatically be set. You can edit it if you wish. The draw sort order is the order that the event will appear in the display of the draw. You can set the default here, and later you can adjust the draw sort order in a specific competition if desired. The default name of attempt is Ride. We can add a message on the judges card. This message will appear as a note on the judges cards, such as scoring instructions or penalty amounts or that type of thing. We'll tap to save that. We will set the division. In this case, we're going to set this to the senior division. Now, in the stock assignment section, if this event will assign stock through the stock draw, or if you will manually assign stock, then we will need to turn this on so that there is a place in the system for that. Register with stock is intended for use with barrel racing. If you're expecting your competitors to register for this event along with their horse, a rider-horse pair, then tap on the Register with Stock switch. In this event, we will not. Register with Stock Mandatory is intended for use with barrel racing. If you will require, that is, make it mandatory, that registrations include the horse, then tap to make this mandatory. Again, these would be used in conjunction. We will turn them both off. Register with Stock Unique is also intended for use with barrel racing. If you will require that were multiple registrations by the same rider within the same event must be on a unique horse, then tap on the option switch for Register with Stock Unique, and you'll notice when we turn this on, it will automatically turn on Register with Stock. We'll turn that off, and the same thing happens if you pick mandatory. So obviously that is a requirement. We will scroll down to the points section. Points per round. If turned on, points will be awarded per each round for this event. Points per go. If turned on, points will be awarded per each go for this event. The points configuration. This will default to whatever the default points configuration is in your account. If you wish to override the points configuration, you can tap this and change it to one of the other configurations. We will change this to timed, just as an example. In the payout section, if this event will not pay out any dollars, that is, no dollars will be calculated for payouts, but points will still be awarded, then you can turn this switch on, which turns off the payouts. In order to override a payout configuration such as standard, we would tap this and we would select another payout configuration, and those payout configurations would have been set elsewhere in the settings. We will leave this as standard, or we can set that as the organization default, which typically is standard. Now in the team setting, if this is a team event, we will turn this on, which also shows an additional option here. A team event allows for multiple team members on the same event team. Team roles and number of team members are defined in the team role setting, so we will tap on this, and if you have team roles configurations, they would be available here. In this case, we just have the one team roping. This, of course, is not a team event, but we're showing this for demonstration purposes. And the multiple entry different teammates. If this is on, and if the competition allows multiple entries in the same team event, then teams must be comprised of different teammates. That is, the exact same team is not allowed to enter more than once. Note that if Team A and Team B consist of the same competitors but different roles, then it is considered a different team. This is not a team event, so we will simply turn these off. Also a reminder that when you selected your event type, most of these switches would have been set to the default setting for that event type. Now we'll tap on the scoring tab, and you can see the options here for scored, timed, or both. This is a timed event. In a timed event, normally it will be set that the higher time is better is turned off, meaning that a lower or faster time is better. You can also set a minimum time requirement here. You can turn on penalties allowed, which we should do for tie-down roping. Organizations may allow exhibition runs or unpaid runs, and in most cases these are not eligible to receive any credit in the standings for points. So that would be this switch. So if the competitor is not paid, then they would not be awarded points. For a scored event, you can set a scoring range, which prevents anybody from entering a score outside of that range. The scores default to a whole number, but you can set decimal points as well, so you can allow up to hundreds or thousands, or require that the scores be entered as whole numbers. The default is that higher score is better. You can turn this off if needed. In most cases, higher score is better is the proper time. You can also set a minimum time required. So perhaps in saddle bronc, bull riding, bareback, perhaps you would set this as 8 seconds. Again, penalties allowed or not allowed can be turned on here. The allow no score in round cumulative has a special purpose in which this allows a no score to be allowed into the round final, or the average. It makes the no score considered as placed. So for a multi-go rodeo, if go 1 has a score of 70 and go 2 has a score of no score, then the 70 will still be counted in the average and will be used to calculate results if that competitor places in the payout positions. It should be noted that this option is also available in timed, but really does not work in the same way, and would actually award the place to a competitor who has only completed one go, as their cumulative time would be lower. So it is not recommended to use this in a timed. Switches are available under the scored settings. There is also the ability to set up what we would call two-factor scoring, that is using both scored and timed. And so again, we can set scores to a decimal point as needed. This is set so that the score portion, the higher score is better, and we can also set the minimum time requirement. For the timed portion of the score, again, the switch can be turned off. So in this case, we have two-factor scoring set up. We have score first turned off, so what it will do is it will use the timed score first, and then if there is a tie, then it will use the score. The opposite would happen if we turn this on, where it would use the score first. If there is a tie, then it would use the time to then rank or place the competitors. Again, penalties allowed and include non-payment and standings are options here as well. So we will set this back to time, which is what this type of event typically has, and then we would save these settings for the event. And now we have set up our tie down roping event in the senior division. Now what we'll also need to do is set the event fees for this. So we'll tap on settings. We will go to fees and we will add a fee, and we'll name this fee tie down entry. We do not have to worry about the season configuration, as this is an event fee. And then we will select the event for which this is to apply. We will tap on fee instances to set the actual amount of the fee. And I would typically use the year for which this applies. And we would set the dollar amount that we will charge and the effective date, which will show as beginning today. And then we would save that. And how these fee instances work is that you can actually set your fees so that you could add another fee instance, and you could call this 2024 for the next year, when we are going to increase price for this, and we will make that effective date to be January 1st of 2024, and then it will use the previous $50 up until January 1st, which could be the start of the new season. When you are done setting up this fee configuration, we'll tap save, and now we have saved the tie down entry fee, and we now have a new event, tie down entry, with its associated fee set up in our system and ready to use for competitions.